Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the model year 2025 Audi S3 Facelift. This is the 4th generation model and it is an S model, so it has become sportier now. Lot of changes have happened to the mechanicals, but in terms of aesthetics and design I can't tell you anything because this is a prototype vehicle. Straight away let's open the engine bay and there you see it has more power, it has more torque. So yes, the car is definitely faster. I'm not going to tell you anything about the design aspect of this car, but you know it's a premium car and headlight washers are my favorite features on any car, and this compact S3 actually gets it. Now if you notice, it has got orange colored wheels. The production model is obviously not going to get that because this is sort of a covered drive, and the tires are new, more grippier. The brakes have been operated, yes, better brakes as well. These are 19-inch wheels. Meanwhile, at the rear, you will notice that it has got 4 freaking exhausts. Yes, quad exhaust from Akrapovic. And it gets a new diffuser treatment as well. So a lot of changes have been done to this car to make it more dynamic and get it closer to the RS3. Meanwhile, the dashboard has been covered, of course, but I'll show you a couple of interesting things which have been added. Firstly, let's get into the Audi Drive Select. There's a dynamic mode, there's a dynamic plus mode now, and when you activate the dynamic plus mode, it will put the ESC into sport, which means the suspension has improved on this car because now it can put all that power down even with ESC in sport. But honestly, the soft limiter is something we would not expect in a sporty model, but there is one at 4000 RPM. It's better to drive, so let's start driving right away. Alright, let's turn on the car. Oh, that's smooth. Let's quickly get into dynamic mode, dynamic plus. We get into drive and now hazard lights off. It's time to launch it because that's the best acceleration with launch control. Here we are, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Launch control program activated. Performance is definitely improved because this engine, which is the 2-liter TFSI engine known as the E888, now produces 23 horsepower more and 20 Newton meters more torque. So it's producing 333 horsepower and the torque output is now 420 Newton meters. The result is it's faster to 100 by 0.1 seconds. So it takes 4.7 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Which is fast. Acceleration is very brisk, and in the dynamic plus mode, well, it even lets you manually take control of things, which means that if I get into manual mode using the pedals, it will hold on to a gear, it will not upshift, it will hold it close to 7000 RPM. So 7000 RPM red line. It has a sports exhaust which is optional but doesn't sound very loud on the inside because obviously insulation levels and all are fantastic. So let's downshift. Gearbox is super quick with shifts. Yeah, this is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox, gets you the right shift most of the time. And when you're in dynamic plus mode, now it's very aggressive with downshifts as well. In fact, in dynamic plus mode now it idles 200 RPM higher, and we're going to do the brake test now. Super awesome brakes. Now time to launch. Hazard lights turned on, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Launch control. The way it maintains its line is unbelievable because they made changes to the suspension, so obviously better materials using the suspension, but now it gets a torque splitter at the rear, which means obviously it has a differential at the front, at the rear as well, but now it can vary the torque distribution to the rear from 0 to 100 all the way to probably 10 90, 20 80 and so on and so forth. The result is obviously it is able to give you optimum traction and you don't have to rely on the brakes. So if you're going through a corner, you can just rely on the torque splitter to help you there. Okay, let's get going again. So again, we're going to do launch control because you never get tired of it. So left foot on the brakes, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. So yeah, I was telling you about the torque distribution. What it can do is vary the torque split between the rear wheels. Otherwise, between the front and rear axle, now it's 50-50. So maximum of 50% of the power and torque can be distributed in the front end. It's so dynamic, it's unbelievable. So it has a pre-fed turbocharger, which results in the wastegate actually being ready to pump in air to the turbos. The result is obviously turbo lag is better contained, but the dynamic is, I can't even say it because this guy is really making me work for it. It is just so amazing through the corners. It's unbelievable that a quattro all-wheel drive car is so freaking dynamic. It just goes through the corner, it oversteers a bit, lets you play around a bit, and obviously you can turn off traction control to go even more sideways, but obviously you're not going to be able to do donuts in this car as such. But what amazing steering feel. The steering feel really surprises you. It's so direct, it's so full of feel and feedback as well. Let's use the gearbox, manual. Okay, tire screeching. What an amazing car to drive. The S3 has actually come closer to the RS3 now. The RS3 obviously the RS3 obviously has more power because it's a 2.5 litre 5-cylinder engine in the RS3 with 400 horsepower and a torque output of 500 Newton meters. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds. But trust me, this car is in no way less. So much fun. Actually, it's a bit too slippery. That's the reason why it's sliding all over the place. But quattro all-wheel drive system is just fantastic. Okay, it says Audi pre-sense. It's sensing that I'm just going too fast. My God, the seatbelt is right into my ribs right now because it's pre-sense and tightened it like crazy. Because obviously we were going too fast and we were going all over the place. Come on, just leave the seatbelt alone a bit. Okay, now it's done that. So back onto the road, and I'm actually going to get into the normal sport drive mode rather than keeping it manual. The downshifts are so aggressive, like it doesn't hesitate at all. That is how it goes, and that is just stupendously awesome. I love this car. I think in a compact package, Audi is delivering a lot more than you would ever expect. You can do launch control wherever you want. Such is the level of traction from this car. So the top speed 250 kilometers per hour, and this engine is unbelievably awesome. It is so good. It is so good. It's very quick. I'm not going to talk about efficiency, but yeah, understeer obviously because quattro, so all-wheel drive cars do understeer a bit. Now, the brakes have been upgraded from 17-inch to 18-inch, and they are 4mm thicker discs right now. Braking performance is very good in this car. Fantastic. Body roll is amazing. It's always in control. Body movement is very, very less. So yeah, it is on the stiffer side, so that makes it stiffer too. So Audi knows that because Audi's like, it's fine if you have a stiff car. If you're opting for the S3, obviously you don't mind that stiffness. The RS3 is even stiffer, so this is actually good enough for driving it on the road. The RS3 is obviously for the track, but if you want comfort, the A3 is just the car to get. But you can live with the level of stiffness this car has to offer because the way it goes through corners, how dynamic it is. And Audi is really working on its suspension these days because some of its cars are obviously getting, I mean, the Panamera we saw the active suspension, which is amazing, and this one has this torque splitter at the rear, which ensures that it's something like a torque vectoring, but it doesn't rely on braking because torque vectoring also happens with braking. So it gives more power to the outside rear wheel when you're going through the corner to ensure that the car straightens out more smoothly, and that definitely works in its favor. Look at the way it goes through at such speeds. It's just glued to the road. It's fantastic to drive, and because of its compact dimensions, it's a car I think a lot of people would really enjoy driving. Even those who have not really hit the track, they can extract a lot out of this car, and then it's compact enough that you can easily take a U-turn like this and off we go. So let's do launch control once again because I never get bored of this level of acceleration. But 4.7 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is definitely very, very, very quick. So turbo lag is well contained, but the mid-range of this car is just stupendous. And in the top end, obviously it screams all the way. Multiple drive modes, efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic plus, individual. Yeah, so you've got adaptive dampers and launch control. Let me get into individual and see what all you can change. So you can change the torque splitter as well. Obviously you can change the drive system too, and the engine sound, which I think right now should be pronounced. The engine doesn't feel as loud on the inside because they're insulating the car so well these days now. And even with this optional sports exhaust, you can't really hear much of the engine on the inside, which is the only disappointing part for me personally speaking. But yes, it does guzzle quite a lot of fuel when you're driving it this aggressively. I expect it to return around 5 to 6 kilometers per liter, which is not bad considering the performance, but that also means we're out of fuel. And on that disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.